Hello, fifth graders. Here's a quick overview for the week. So at this point, many of you have been on a level of a staggered start. If you have already begun, then this week in social studies, you are going to be working on the module assessment. And so you will wrap up all of module 1 this week. If you are a late start, you are waiting one more week while you get caught up in math and/or language arts before you start 02.01, a fresh module next week. When you look at math, many of you are doubling up on math content to try to get caught up through week 5 by September 26th. That is your goal, and that will get you through 03.05. Keep in mind that you do have one assignment that needs to be scanned and submitted. This assignment does not get to be typed. This one needs to be either in your interactive journal, which is just a journal or a notebook, where you answer the problems just like it's outlined here, or you actually print this, solve, and show your work, and then scan and upload that. I need to see how you're solving the problems because it'd be pretty easy to just type these into a calculator and then type in the responses. That's why I really want to see it on a piece of paper or right onto this PDF. The other assignments within the week for math are quizzes, but do be sure that you're still going through doing the practice that they're asking for. And if they ask you to do it in an interactive journal, you might not be turning it in, but you can still do that on a piece of paper, in a composition notebook, in a spiral notebook, so that you're getting the extra practice with the skill. When it comes to science, many of you are focused on finishing up Module 1 if you already began at the beginning of the year. The rest of you started, if you're a late start, in week 4 last week with 02.01, and you're going to move forward this week continuing on with the second module. So when you go into 02.01, you're going to find that it is an experiment, and so you are going to actually go through all the content pages first, but this mixtures of solids is the thing that should have been submitted last week. If you haven't finished it, go ahead and go back and start with 02.01, get this activity finished, and make sure you go through all of these new learning pages because this is a new module. This is where you're starting as a late start, and you want a fresh beginning with understanding all of the concepts. So make sure you're not just jumping to that to-do page and that to-do list. Make sure you're going through all of this content. And then this week, beginning in week 5, once you finish that, you'll be doing these content pages and these quizzes. The last thing I want to review is language arts. Again, many of you are beginning in 02.01 this week. So you will click into this. It is really important that you go through all of these pages because you are starting a narrative piece using descriptive language. If you do not click through the content, you will not understand the narrative piece. There's going to be some things that you do before you get to this page, like some practice activities, and there's cursive pages and things like that. Again, for those, you can print it off and practice onto the page, or you can do that in your interactive journal, any kind of notebook or paper that you have, okay? But that might not be submitted. Instead, what you're looking at is beginning here, you're going to start focusing on a narrative. You need to watch all of these videos. This is an exemplar of what you're going to be doing. This is eventually what you want your story to look like. So they're giving you an example, an exemplar. So you are going to brainstorm, plan, write, revise, edit, and then publish throughout this module. And the brainstorming is what you're doing in a journal. Great to just use a piece of paper, whatever you have, but you are going to write down the prompt, okay, which you will find within the text, and you will also find at the end, and then you're going to brainstorm ideas. What you will see on this last page is that this day is a quiz, but when you go into 02.02, you're going to have continued that work, and you'll see that they're giving you deeper examples now to start to build up to writing that narrative. And so here you have a character, setting, problem, goal, events, story, solution. This is their example of what you're going to submit. So now this is the exemplar that you're working towards. And when you go into the last page, you will see that the writing prompt is what you've been focusing on since 02.01. Write a narrative about a character who goes exploring and discovers a new land. So remember, a narrative is a story. And so you will come into this and have a blank graphic organizer that you can do similar to what they had as the exemplar. But this is going to be your version of it. If you don't have a printer, feel free to recreate this document in a journal, in a notebook, on a piece of paper, but it needs to look like this, and it needs to be handwritten out where I'm seeing your thinking, that you have all parts of what you learned from the lesson. So that will be what you're working on this week, and those will be the things that you'll build towards as you submit this at the end of week 5. Please reach out if you have any questions, and do remember that I have that Zoom time where you can bop in and ask me questions on Monday mornings from 9 to 10. You can find the Zoom link in the welcome letter that I sent you.